Hey everyone, so I decided to make a new series. I think we'll see how this goes, where I just like take a debate that's in the community or just like make up a debate kind of something I'm interested in and like um, give my opinion on it, try and be as least objective as possible and just argue one side of that debate, even if it's not something like I'm like really passionate about. Just stir up controversy, like just have fun, stir up discussion, and so yeah. If you like um, anything I'm saying, great. Feel free to like it. If you disagree, feel free to disagree. I'd like to have a discussion below. Tell me why I'm wrong. And we could talk. That'd be fun. Hopefully. So today I'm going to be debating which we should get first, a space update or a fauna update. And I think most people would say a space update. I've not seen that many people argue for a fauna update. So I think most people would say a space update. And quite honestly, I think we're probably going to get a space update with Beyond. It's my most likely option for Component 3. And quite honestly, I'm okay with that. And quite honestly, there'd be a lot of cool things they could do with that. Like I've seen a lot of cool things like flyable frigates, rotating planets, gas giants, 3D models, blah, 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 blah. Lots of fun stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. Fellow Games does it. I'm not knocking them. Whatever. But let's think about a fauna debate. A fauna update here. Let's actually think about this because I don't see that many people talking about it. Honestly, I hadn't thought about the fauna too much until I watched a video by the Procedural Traveler where he just talked about things that could be updated to make fauna better. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Like, it'd be really, really cool if they spent the entire update just focusing on fauna. So why do I think fauna is better updating than space? Two fundamental reasons. One, the planets are what's cool about No Man's Sky. Don't get me wrong, I know it's a sci-fi game, spaceships, whatever, but like the reason most people got into this game is for the planets. That's why everyone talks about variation, variation, variation. I'm on board. I want variation. But when they talk about variation, people always like it's mostly about biomes, about geography, like how mountains and stuff, the flora. Less I see about the fauna. But I think if you had a wider variety of fauna, it would actually impact the feel of the planet a lot more than people probably think. And on top of that, I just think the gameplay content would be better. Don't get me wrong, again, you could do cool things in space. But I thought of a lot of cool ideas, I think, for things you could do on planet. And I always want to be on planet, or most of the time on planet. So I would prefer these kind of like gameplay additions. So what exactly are the changes they could make to fauna? 3 things, I think. First, they could update the models. Don't get me wrong, I said that a lot, but don't get me wrong. I think Hello Games has done a pretty good job with their fauna models. There's a lot of variety there. I know. But there's obviously like things you could point to that would just be cool to see. Things I would like to see in game. Reptiles. We haven't seen that many reptiles. I've never seen a reptile. Or like a true, like maybe some parts of a reptile, but like a true reptile. Yeah, a cow-sized reptile would be cool to see. Amphibians. Don't really see any of those. My personal favorite, creatures holding spears to signal some level of intelligence. I just think that'd be awesome to see. Yeah, and like there's a variety of models. To be honest, this isn't the reason I want a fauna update. It's not like the models I need to see more like weird looking aliens. It's not that, but it'd be cool, and there's a lot of cool things they could do with it. The second thing they could do is more variation in size. I mean, there is pretty good variation in size. I feel like, especially when you play in VR, I'm going to play in VR. Like the tall things are going to look a lot taller in VR. So there is like variation in size. I know. But like, we could have taller animals, I think, especially now with Vulcan, hopefully, with that optimization. Hopefully, maybe we could have larger animals. And the thing about the animals right now, it's like It's not so much the differences in size that matters. It's like the big things aren't that much stronger than the small things, if they're stronger at all. It's like they're like you could have a giant dinosaur shoot with its laser for like 2 seconds and it dies, or a little frog and it takes 2 seconds to die. It's the exact same, and that doesn't really make much sense and doesn't really have great gameplay. I mean, it's okay gameplay, but it could be better, right? So what about like having giant animals that are really, really, really hard to kill? Like now we have multiplayer. It's not a solo game anymore. So like maybe there's a plan. Imagine how cool it would be to come down from space, land on a planet with a team of your friends, and like the only thing on the planet is giant predators that like one person could never take down by themselves. Great gameplay. Right there, great gameplay. So instead of having all the animals different sizes, the same strength, have different sizes, different strengths. And maybe, hopefully, a little bit bigger, especially underwater. Okay, but thirdly and most importantly, the reason I actually want to see a Fauna update is that you can have more complex AI. And so now, right now, as it stands, most animals just kind of come up to you and like paw you a little bit or bite you a little bit or like whatever they do. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Made sense when you're playing solo. You can't get mobbed by a whole bunch of things, but like again, we can play multiplayer now, and we have bases for people who don't even like playing multiplayer. You have bases that you could like fortify as defensive structures. Those two things allow you to have stronger animals. You could actually, for the first time, have like, I mean, more sophisticated attack strategies rather than just running at you and clawing at you. Maybe having like them like dive bombing you, or pouncing on you and running away, or burrowing underground and coming up. Like these were things that were difficult solo, difficult at first to achieve, but like maybe now we have options. Imagine having a turret. You have a turret on your base, and like these like a mob of aggressive animals are coming at you, and you just have to turret them. How fun would that be? You could have, I mean, there's the possibilities are endless. They really are endless. You could have elusive animals for people who aren't into fighting. Like not all planets, like you have like planets with aggressive sentinels. You could have like peaceful planets with peaceful animals. Maybe even the majority of them are like that. But you could even have like complex AI could be cool here too. Maybe there's elusive animals that are super hard to find. Like if you're into like finding them and photographing them, that'd be great. Also, as it stands, like when I land on a planet, I'm not like I might like check out the fauna and see how cool or weird they look, but like I'm not interested in following them around, right? Like you don't wonder where they're gonna go. But if you like made the AI a little bit more complex, maybe it could be more interesting. Maybe they go over to water and drink, or like run away in herds or migrate or something. Again, I'm not asking for unlimited options here. Like the AI doesn't have to be crazy, crazy, crazy sophisticated. I know Hello Games has a lot on their plate, but if they had a whole update dedicated to this, they could probably do a lot of great things with the AI. And just make it overall a lot more interesting. So lastly, I just think this just like having a Fauna update could add a lot of great content, right? So you could have the current missions for Fauna missions, in my opinion, aren't particularly fun. They don't blow my mind. You land on a planet, it's generally like kill 50 of any animal, and like mostly they're peaceful animals that just like you shoot them and like I just feel bad. Like I just feel bad. Like this animal's just skipping along, and I come down with a laser gun and just like laser it. Like it's not like just I feel bad, but like you could have a lot more. If the AI is more complex, you could have a lot more missions oriented towards interacting with fauna, collecting or combat or whatever. Again, multiplayer battles. Maybe you have to get together to beat like large animals. Maybe there's some kind of reward for doing that, like some kind of currency reward or whatever. That'd be a lot of fun. I've seen people suggest things like collecting animals for zoos. That'd be great. But what happens is not only zoos, maybe you could collect an animal from one planet that you really like and bring them to a planet and just like introduce them into the wild. That'd be really fun. especially again if their AI is somewhat complex. Or the flip side of this, maybe you could completely kill off a species. Like maybe if you really hate the crabs on your planet, you really hate like the dinosaurs on your planet, but the planet's perfect otherwise, just like you have to kill 1,000 or 2,000 of them, and then they're never gonna spawn again on your planet. So you could kill off the animals you don't like. Again, it's maybe a slow grind, but you could have multiplayer missions around this. And then you could fly in new species that you want to introduce. You can like build your dream world of fauna. These are of course like wild suggestions. Of course, I don't think Hello Games is gonna. I don't think a fauna update's particularly likely, but I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be better than a space update. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree. Again, if you disagree, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear why I'm wrong. If you liked it, feel free to like it. If you want me to take unnecessarily opinionated stance on debates in the future, feel free to subscribe because I plan on doing it more often. Thanks for watching.